Hey guys, welcome back. It's Glenn here for Psychic Celluloid Signals. I'm here with the founders of the Upstate New York Horror Film Festival, and we're going to ask them 7 questions for our Cinematic 7 series. Number 1. What inspired you to start the festival?
Well, we love horror films. We've been making them for about 10 years or so, and then after a while, 4 years ago, this is our 4th year, might as well just get the community bigger. We know in Rochester, New York, you don't have too many horror film festivals, if any, except the Niagara, not specified in horror. And
it's exactly, me and Joe have been working 10 years, like you said, and we just enjoy horror and wanted to bring a lot of independent films to this festival and stuff like that. So each year we try to increase it and be able to show more films.
How long have you been into horror?
All my life.
I wasn't born as long as him, so I probably didn't get into it till later, till about 16 or 17 years old, coming from, one of those Catholic families. I was lucky to watch wrestling, and then from wrestling I got into, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, all the classics. Were you younger? You probably...
Yeah, actually, I used to like the old classic horror movies, the Universal monsters and stuff like that. And then, when I was younger, 10 years old, actually, when Jaws came out, it was one of the films that really scared the shit out of me, being at, 10 years of age, and seen some movies, check it out, Driller Killer.
Oh yeah, Video
right?
Nasty.
Yep,
Yeah.
I watched that. I used to, record a lot off of VHS and stuff like that and watch it, and so it's been a long time.
Cool. What's your process when selecting films for the festival?
It's a lot.
A lot of process. Depends on the category and stuff. Sometimes one category will get like 15 to 30 submissions, and we could only pick, one for each block. Other times we have 100 for one category. Then we have to do everything from cinematic to sound to gore to, all the aspects that makes a great horror film.
Yep.
A little comedy never hurts.
Yeah, it's always good to have a little bit of comedy and horror.
Definitely.
And a
That's
little
what we do.
titties.
That's what we like doing. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So.
This isn't rated PG, right?
No.
Okay.
How many submissions do you generally average each year?
We've been increasing, usually over the years, like 100 more each year. I mean, when we first started, it was probably only like 50, and we only showed it at one screen. But now, anywhere from 300 to 500 submissions a year. And next year, hopefully around 500 again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
A lot of times, like what we did too is after, the festival, ends tonight, and we have our awards banquet and stuff like that, and people think, oh, okay, but it's actually, we're starting all over for 2018.
Yep,
Coming up
November
in-
1st, we'll be
Yeah.
opening submissions again, so if you got a
Yeah.
horror film or sci-fi, if you guys
Yeah.
do anything too.
Yeah.
So it's a continuing thing, it just doesn't end and say, okay, now October we're back here again, and it's a whole year process. We collaborate, what we want to bring new to the festival again, for 2018, which we've been brainstorming again for the last couple of days. So, yep.
What tips would you give aspiring filmmakers wanting to be featured in the festival?
Being featured as having their film submitted and the best chances for them being selected. Yeah, it's always a great starting point. And like higher end film festivals like Sundance and stuff, sometimes they just look at the film's budget and stuff, like $1 million, $2 million. We look at what you could do with $400,000 and what you could do with $10,000. So if your $400,000 film looks like $400,000, that's okay, that's good. If your $10,000 film looks like $100,000, that's definitely better. So definitely take your time. Be patient. I mean, some scenes you could only shoot in, 2 scenes, 3 scenes a day, and some people just think it's so quick.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, our first feature, Joe actually wrote his first feature when he was like 17, 18 years old. And it was actually, a lot of it was on like scrap paper. And he contacted me for it. He contacted me for it, and he wanted me to work with him. And I told him, I said, you know what, get things together, work a little bit more. And I said, I'd be more than happy to work with you. And not even 6 months later, he calls me up, and he had his feature
I
done,
had my
and
feature script done, but I failed college, so no, I'm just kidding. Just my last semester.
no, but in all honesty, that film that we did took several years because every weekend we went out to shoot, it poured. Every weekend we went out, it poured.
Rochester
And,
weather.
yep, and we just kept plugging along and plugging along and plugging along, and then finally it ended up coming together, you know, and it's something he should be very proud that he, you know, wrote and stuff like that, and I was glad I was able to, you know,
Move me along.
move him along and help be a mentor to him, and
Thank you, Daddy.
you're, but yeah. But the best thing that I can say is that for new kids coming along, don't get frustrated. I mean, there's been film festivals, people put in
Yep.
hundreds of film festivals, and they're lucky if they get one.
One. But
You
as
know,
long as you get that one, that's just
that-
accomplished by itself. And
It's all
each
that
time
matters.
you're progressing, you're progressing.
And one of our goals too was that, you know, made a movie and it came out on a DVD. I didn't care if it went to a film festival. It's on a DVD. I got a movie that's on a DVD.
Right, physical thing you can hold in your hand.
Exactly. I got it in my hand. You know, and that's important to me. You know, that means a lot to me. So what I can say is just keep plugging along. Don't give up on what you're doing.
You heard him.
That's right. Don't give up, kids.
I was gonna say something.
And this is one of the characters in our says. He always said, "Smoke dope." And how does he say?
I smoked dope. What?
Yeah, the kids smoking dope. He should always smoke dope because that's how he ended up. He was late for his community service, and he was
yeah.
one of the kids that didn't get killed because he was home smoking
Yep.
dope.
Sorry,
But don't
I'm late.
smoke dope; it's not good. Unless you know a good dealer.
Era, by the way.
Later.
Okay.
What's the hardest aspect of running a film festival?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's actually pretty common until the last 4 weeks, because then you got to get all the films on a hard drive now. You got to get everything ready with promotion, marketing, let everyone know. We have an email list of about 150 to 200 people that were selected for this film, so we always have to keep them updated every week and then return all the emails. Sometimes
Yeah.
files don't work.
That's the big thing about this whole thing is, you know, Joe does a lot of that IT aspect of it, not me. So, you know, props off to Joe because that's a very hard thing to manage so many emails and respond to them at an appropriate time. You know, where, you know, in my day-to-day life, when I put an email out to someone, I want a response within 24 hours. And sometimes when I don't get that, I get upset. So I can understand as being that if someone sends you an email and it doesn't get responded for a couple of days,
Yeah.
you can understand their frustrations. But then you look at it and say, okay, it's not just one-to-one email. You're talking 150, 200 emails going out and keeping them all in order. It's a lot. So that's
Yeah.
that's a big task. And you know, so you gotta have, you know, a
Yeah,
nice
definitely.
noodle up here. Get my age, you start losing it, like my hair. Yeah.
And last question, where do you see horror as a genre going, and what trends do you think will last/become less prominent?
I actually, there's always going to be horror. There's
Definitely.
always going to be horror. It's not going to go. People love it. Just
Yeah.
like, you know what, I don't mean to be nasty about it, but you know what? Porn. There's sex. Sex sells. There's always going to be in it. It may not be right for you. It may be not right for you, but you know what? It's right for these four.
And me.
And Joe, but you know what I'm saying? That horror will always be horror. You're gonna have those, you know, blood splattering, slashing your throat, cutting your head off, and just constant blood pouring out. And then you have your other little thrillers and stuff like that. But it'll always be there.
Yep. What he said, thriller, suspense, it's always going to be there. It might change to different topics, you know. Like this year you could see more clown movies coming out because of Id and Clown and all those. But then next year it'll be like we had vampires and zombies, so it'll always be, yeah, horror just going around in a circle. And I don't know about you, I think maybe you do, but I want to like branch off also, not into horror.
Yep.
I always want to stick with horror, but like maybe do westerns in the future, and I'll always come back to horror too as my first love and passion.
I actually, it was funny because we were just talking about that. My wife likes that romantic stuff. I like horror. My brother likes Western. I like Western, but my brother watches Western all the time. So he's like, man, we can make a Western horror romantic movie and stuff
watch that.
have all those categories in it. How gnarly would that be? You know what I'm saying?
That'd be
you know,
awesome.
how cool would that be?
Yeah.
You know, a killer clown in the West riding a horse.
With some sharks flying around.
Well, yeah, we can shark
Yeah, sharks.
sharks come exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's. I mean, we were just talking about the actually venue that we're here today. I was just actually telling one of the other ladies here that this whole venue here was not here. It used to be the West Side and the East Side. So if you know anything about the West Side and the East Side, it's always been an issue growing up. Oh, you're an East Sider, you're a West Sider. Believe it or not, that's the feud that was happening, being here. And these people are 75, 80 years old. They come and sit down, they build this community, they come down there like, where are you from? Oh, we came, we lived on the West Side. Oh, you can't sit with us, we're East Siders. So we were like shooting the shit, and we were saying, how gnarly would that be? Let's freaking make a movie about the elderly with their walkers having a brawl because you live on the West Side and I live on the East Side. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up having that, and they're like, let's build that movie. Let's come together with something and make it. But it's crazy. You can put any horror into anything.
Yeah. And a question for you guys. Being here, your film festival, you guys stayed for the whole weekend. How did you enjoy it?
Oh, we loved it. It was amazing.
The best.
Is
Yes.
wonderful. There's-
Variety of films, right?
You guys had an amazing selection. Such a diversity.
Yeah.
We got to see so much cool stuff. A lot of things that we had never even heard of. I know I'm glued to the internet, reading all these different websites and what's coming out, and I had heard of Leviathan and was it like Kaleidoscope
Yeah.
and Balloon. Those are the only three I had heard of, besides of course Friday the 13th.
Oh,
which I know.
yeah. Yeah, everyone.
But
Oh.
everything
Yeah,
else
never
was,
get rights to that. Just tell them you'll share 50% of the sales because
Yeah. We'll talk about that
we'll
later.
talk about that at another time. Yeah, that's a whole another story. But yeah, I'm glad you guys actually came out and were able to spend the weekend with us and stuff like that because we're trying to give you guys an experience. We're trying to give the filmmakers an experience, and whatever we can do, they're here. We're supporting them, they're supporting us, and whatever we can do to make your experience the best, that's what we're trying to do.
you definitely did it.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we strive for.
Oh, of course.
We strive for that, to make it an experience, not just, hey, come on in here and see you later.
Right.
That's not what we're about. So I think that's, and I think, and I've heard, that's what some other people do, but that's not what we do. We want to give you an experience that you'll remember. And when you walk out of here saying, I'm coming back next year.
Oh, we are.
Sweet.
Good.
This was awesome. We don't have anything else like this in Rochester.
Yep.
So
No,
you guys are invaluable.
Yep. Well, we hope that the word gets out more and more, and people understand what they can come in here and see. And we've already been, like I said, we've already talked
about expanding.
and doing
We
more
should have
things
3
to
screens
it.
next year.
So yeah, yep. nice private screening room. So we're working on some things, and I think hopefully, if everything goes as planned.
I can smell the food.
Yeah, I know. Got a nice buffet dinner coming up here and stuff like that for the awards. So that's another thing we like doing too here, And I think people will be happy with the meals too. So yeah,
Thank you. It's been a
Good.
pleasure.
nice meeting you, and
Nice
I
meeting you
really
too.
appreciate you guys
too,
coming
yeah.
out.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's it, guys. Keep it psychic and keep it real.
Keep it real.